Let me be clear, all these steps are interconnected, so this plan is contingent upon each of these steps happening in concert. They must happen in tandem. They must occur with policy changes I just mentioned, and there cannot be delays or obstruction.
Governor Tony Evers will propose closing Green Bay Correctional Facility as part of a sweeping criminal justice proposal when he unveils his state budget Tuesday. The plan would not build a new state prison, but instead renovate Waupun and convert Licking Hills and Copper Lake to adult facilities, with the governor's overall goal of stabilizing the state's prison population. Full details and Republican reaction to that coming Tuesday night. A lot of eyes and interest on what the governor will propose Tuesday night, and that includes Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, who joins us now. County Executive, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you have said that the county's structural deficit is projected to grow to some $69 million by 2029. Is that still a current estimate? And break down how that's possible.
That is still a current estimate. And basically one of the reasons that is because of our state mandated services. And one of the highest growing costs that we're seeing within Milwaukee County government, not just in Milwaukee, but governments all across the state, is the rising cost of public safety mandates. And so we are looking to continue to have conversations, looking towards the governor's budget this upcoming Tuesday, having conversations with his office as well as state legislators to tackle the rising of public safety costs, not just for Milwaukee County, but for all counties across the entire state of Wisconsin.
Has the governor assured you he's going to include everything you've requested from the state?
We haven't had that conversation. I'm looking forward. I will be there on Tuesday to hear the governor's budget address. But again, we have been in close contact with him and his office about these issues.
What about Republicans? What are you hearing in terms of just an initial response on what this may look like in the months down the road?
I think everything is up in the air. I think we've been having some conversations. One, just talking about saying thank you, right? Because we realize many of the savings and tools that we received through the Wisconsin Act 12. But there needs to be a greater partnership. And so we've been having conversations with individuals on both sides of the aisles about this. And so far, I think people understand that we have to tackle the public safety issues, not just within Milwaukee, but across the entire state of Wisconsin.
You mentioned the criminal justice facility. That is a big part of a major piece of this budget request. Your current price tag, $490 million for that criminal justice public safety building. You were in the legislature. Are you anticipating that this is going to be an uphill battle, asking for taxpayer dollars to fund a facility like that here in Milwaukee?
Well, look, we know that we have a lot of different competing priorities when it comes down to this state budget. But I will tell you that when it comes down to this building, if we want to find efficiencies, if we want to save taxpayer dollars, this has to be one of the biggest generational investments that we have to tackle right away.
Of that $490 million, how much do you want the state to contribute?
We've been asking basically for about $250 million for them to be able to contribute. Now, as you know, that there's a lot of negotiations and many different ways for this to actually happen. And so we are open to how we can get this done.
You know how this works in the legislature.
Yes.
If I'm a Republican outside of Milwaukee, how do you convince them to pour hundreds of millions of dollars into a building in the city of Milwaukee if I'm in Ashland or Superior, and you know the perception sometimes?
Well, I want folks to know that this particular building serves the entire state of Wisconsin. You know, Milwaukee County, we are the largest county in the state of Wisconsin, and we are the only county that actually has individuals from all counties in the state of Wisconsin somewhere within our Milwaukee County jail or going through our court system. Again, the public safety costs, we are not doing this on our own. We're working with many other counties across the entire state of Wisconsin. We've been having conversations with the Wisconsin Counties Association to help us tackle the public safety costs for the entire state.
At the same time, you know, Republicans have introduced legislation in part targeting Milwaukee County that would require the sheriff to work with ICE and immigration officials and also check the immigration status of anyone arrested in the jail on a felony charge. Do you want the county to support that?
Well, I think all of us are fighting to make sure that all of our neighborhoods and our communities are safe. And so anytime that we're asking our sheriffs, you know, whether we're talking Milwaukee County or anywhere across the state, to basically pull off this unfunded mandate, any bill will give me any type of pause.
Why not check the immigration status of people in the jail on a felony charge?
I'm not saying that we don't check those statuses. I think that's a conversation with the sheriff's office. I do believe that we do ask particular questions related to citizenship, but that's a question that you may have to ask our Milwaukee County Sheriff.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, like always, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up, President Donald Trump's tariffs, what's to come, and the impact in Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin business leaders weighing in. Kurt Bauer, president of the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce, is with us next.